Hello everybody and welcome back to a new season of the Prismatic Draft League. This season, the Staff Whip team whipped up something special for us to play. The format for this draft league is Regulation C of VGC, along with the Hisuian Mons and the Restricted Mons. Each team must draft a Restricted Mon. With the stronger the Restricted Mon is, the more expensive it will be to draft. With that in mind, let's meet the team. So I was 11th in the draft order out of the 16 playing, and was not expecting to get any of the super strong Restricted Mons. Without any doubt, Calyrex Shadow, Groudon, Zacian, they all went before it was my turn to pick. So I was prepared to just grab an S tier, probably a Moongus, when I noticed that there was a Mon that was not picked yet. Kyogre. Kyogre is a bulky special attacking water type with 150 special attack and 140 special defense that sets on rain when switching in. Not only that, but it has great coverage moves in the form of Ice Beam and Thunder, which does not miss when rain is set up. Pair that with a potential electric type terrestrialization and Kyogre will be pumping out stab thunders that do not miss. So I have a rain setter. My next move should be a Pokemon that capitalizes on rain, like a Swift Swim user. Swift Swim is an ability that doubles your speed when rain is up. Looking through the list, I have a couple options: Floatzel, Overqwil, Barraskewda, but they all paled in comparison to a monster that was in A tier, Basculegion. Basculegion is a water ghost evolution to Hisuian Basculin with a middling 78 speed stat that of course doubles under rain thanks to Swift Swim. Basculegion has insane HP and attack with an excellent move pool to make use of that. From stab moves such as Wave Crash and Last Respects, which increases in power for every Pokemon that faints on your side of the field, to solid coverage moves such as Crunch, Psychic Fangs, Ice Fang, and Head Smash. On top of that, Swift Swim isn't its only option. Basculegion also gets Adaptability, which increases the damage multiplier of stab moves from 1.5 times to 2 times. With just these mons, I have a solid Rain Core. It's time to start getting some coverage. Unfortunately, by this point, a Moongus was already grabbed, so I decided to look at the lower tiers and save my S tier pick for later. One of the first mons to grab my eye was Hisuian Arcanine. Hisuian Arcanine is not that much different from regular Arcanine. It trades 5 points in speed and special attack and places them in HP and attack. The other notable change is that it's now Fire Rock typing. This type combo is really not that good, and will almost certainly be my terrestrialization choice when I do bring it. Yet despite this, it has insane value. Regular Arcanine is in the S tier, so freeing up my S tier pick for something like Hisuian Arcanine, which is in B tier, is really nice. Hisuian Arcanine still gets all of regular Arcanine's good moves: Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, Extreme Speed, Flare Blitz. Speaking of Flare Blitz, Hisuian Arcanine's new hidden ability is Rock Head, meaning it will not take any recoil damage from recoil moves. Combine that with Head Smash, should now have a strong Head Smash without any recoil, or Flare Blitz, which is also good, and it is a great option for when I don't bring Intimidate. Now, since we are doing a Regulation C based draft league, there aren't many fairy types available to use. Sylveon was an option, but it would have cost me 40 out of my remaining 100 free agent points to draft, but that's irrelevant because it was drafted before me. And after seeing its performance last season, and learning a cool tech with its ability, I went with Florges from C tier. If you thought Kyogre's special defense was monstrous, Florges has a base 154 special defense, though its HP isn't great at base 78, and its defense is awful at base 68. But it is an absolute special wall. So it's most likely going to be my support mon with setting up screens and using his wish for healing. Maybe even going on offense with Calm Mind, since it has 112 special attacks still. However, the main reason I drafted Vismon is because of Flower Veil, an ability that prevents the status moves or stat drops from affecting any grass type on my side of the field. Now at the moment, I don't have any grass types, so why draft Florges? I don't get any use out of the ability, right? Wrong. With Terrestrialization, I can make any one of my Pokemon grass type, and it'll benefit from Flower Veil, because it doesn't have to start off as a grass type to get use of the ability, including Florges. Now, using Flower Veil with Terrestrialization sounds great, but I would also appreciate having a grass type on my team so I don't have to rely on Flower Veil. That means I could also potentially have Florges out on the field with another grass type and have Florges Terra Grass, and then neither of them can be affected by statuses or stat drops. At the same time, however, I really want to find a good electric type to make use of the Rain set by Kyogre. Being able to maybe whip out 2 Thunders that can't miss from my side of the field sounds incredibly strong. Or even pair it up with Arcanine to cover its water weakness. But how could I find a mon that could cover both? Fortunately, Legends Arceus introduced Hisuian Electrode, which is a grass electric type Pokemon that is the ancestor to Electrode. Hisuian Electrode has the same stats as Electrode, and those stats, well, they're not great in all honesty. Having 150 space speed though means it outruns everything, so I could use it as a bit of a support mon if I need to. Access to moves like Taunt, Screens, and Eerie Impulse is great to have. Hisuian Electrode, however, has a signature move, Chloroblast, which is a base 150 power grass type move with 95% accuracy and will take 50% of Electrode's health upon use. While it's not the best Pokemon I've grabbed so far, it could put in some decent work. At this stage, I was looking to grab my D tier pick. Most Pokemon in D tier aren't amazing looking, so I needed to grab something good while I still could before other people started taking mons from the tier. Most Pokemon here are middle evolutions, and because of that, I would find myself looking at an old friend. While I did not use Primeape much last season, I still stand by the pick and decided to grab it again for this season. With a base 105 attack, it can provide decent damage, and Eviolite helps mitigate its awful base 60 defense and base 70 special defense. Primeape actually has solid covered options besides just clicking close combat, such as the Elemental Punches, Gunk Shot, Rock Slide, and Earthquake. I probably won't be using Primeape much this season like last season. However, it's a good option to have. Since I picked Hisuian Electrode as my first free agent, it meant that my remaining free agents had to either be 3 untiered, or 1 D tier and 2 untiered. And the main thing at the moment my team was lacking was speed control. Sure, Basculegion gets Swift Swim, which is technically speed control, but my opponent could easily bring a weather move and cancel that out. However, there was one Pokemon in D tier that has access to speed control, and was my next pick, Skiploom. Skiploom is a grass flying type with access to Tailwind, which is the speed control my team needed. There's a few other good moves like Helping Hand, Pollen Puff, Strength Sap, Rage Powder, and Cotton Guard, but since its defenses are pretty bad, I don't imagine it living much longer after getting the Tailwind up. Next, since I needed to grab 3 untiered, 1 for the regular slot and 2 for the free agents, I decided to get one of them out of the way right now. I grabbed Meowth since it has access to Fake Out, a priority move that causes Pokemon hit by it to flinch. Now at this point, you may remember I have not picked my S tier yet. The idea behind this was since Kyogre and Basculegion are a strong offensive core, I was not too picky on what I could get from S tier. So instead, I focused on filling the lower tiers of my roster first. Originally, I was thinking Hydreigon, a dark dragon type with access to the ever-strong Draco Meteor and Tailwind. However, it was grabbed earlier, which is why I picked Skiploom. Maybe I should get Garganacci or Dragonite. However, I already had enough bulky Pokemon, and Hisuian Arcanine has E-Speed if I wanted to do E-Speed spam. Then it hit me. It was so obvious. I had the perfect rain setup for it. No one's picked it. And so, to round out the rain core, my S-tier pick was Palafin. Palafin at first glance doesn't look too appealing, until you take into consideration its 0 to Hero ability. Those pretty mediocre stats transform into an outright ludicrous 650 base stat total of 160 base attack, with the only caveat being that Palafin needs to switch out and then back in to activate the ability. However, I think this should be little issue for my team, since Palafin's 0 form's weakest stat is special defense, and I have 2 incredible special walls in the form of Kyogre and Florges. Lastly, I need to grab those 2 untiered that I still needed, so I grabbed Snorunt and Shuppet. Overall, I am incredibly happy with how this team ended up shaping up, and I cannot wait for the season to start. Anyways, I will see y'all next time. Peace.